today I'll cap what we did and I'll give you a small community update. So we were chatting live with Frayd about his or their contributions to the awesome software repo and understanding what's new in Fast Excel Stepper 1.2.5. So the big note here is Fast Excel Stepper, we believe, will allow us to change waypoints without using the ramp generator function, which has caused a jittery behavior inside of the awesome pattern drawing mode. In addition, we did just a review of the other contributions that Frayd has done. We merged in their new homing. This allows just for a bit of a double bump, boom, boom, at the end of your range, so that if you are, say, using a suction pump, any kind of stiction, as Frayd called it, isn't going to set an extremely short stroke. Beyond that, we also did a review of Frayd's experimental branch called Advanced Penetration, and I think we have a good understanding of what it does now. In brief, Advanced Penetration adds additional patterns to the awesome by including a pattern generator. Frayd's got a pretty cute name for their approach. They call it the synthesizer. Instead of pre-drawing the patterns, what you do is you define different controls, 6 specific controls, which can each vary over time. So in the synthesizer, the controls that you have access to are max and min depth. You will have access to speed in and out, and that is speed in and out of a stroke over time, and excel in and out. I think the synthesizer is actually an incredible name for this. It's very appropriate. If you think about patterns or constructing waveforms using their core parts, that is essentially what Frayd is attempting to do, or is doing already, with these 6 variables. I can show you some of those examples now. I think I'm going to jump right down to the meaty, delicious pictures. I think that this really helps with the understanding of what's being created. Let's start with Frayd's most recent example that they sent me. This is a pattern generated from these 6 variables called the knot. Let's watch this right there. It pauses at a difficult point at a knot and then continues. How is this getting generated? Well, it's not being pre-drawn. This could be something that's created in a pre-drawn tool, like roughly what I'm creating, or it could be created in something like Stroke Engine, which is already on the devices. But Frayd's taken the more exciting approach, the more synthesizer approach, where you could say on a synthesizer, like a musical frequency generator, you could make any other noise as long as you know the component parts. And that's what they have here. So let's understand this together. So I'm going to repeat some of the information that was stated to me by Frayd. I am going to get some of this wrong because it is net new to me and I just want to do a good job introducing you to it. However, if you have questions, I strongly recommend you jump into the Kinky Makers Discord, which I will link if you don't already have access, and you will find Frayd's project under the root Member Projects Advanced Penetration. So let's jump in. My understanding right here is that the dotted line is your base pattern, your default settings, and everything in the solid line is your base settings plus your modifiers over time. So it's kind of your resultant pattern of all 6 of these parameters as time goes forward. What we're seeing here is the pattern that will draw out with 1 stroke. One question I'll have to confirm with Frayd, and that if you also are curious about this, maybe we should ask inside of the Discord, is where's the pause here that is introducing the knot effect? We'll check on that in a second, but let's understand first the different component parts of this waveform that's present on screen. So this is your set of variables. This is your 6 variables, which I'll go through in 3 different photos here so we can understand them over time, which again can all change. Yes, you could set them all to different constant values, but at all different constant values, your pattern isn't going to be anything more than just, say, sinusoidal or something of that nature. Anyway, moving forward, let's understand what is present on screen. I'm going to focus on just this red line for a moment. We can see if X is your time scale, then as you click through time, where I will take the assumption that time is not measured in seconds, but is like your progression as a percentage through your stroke. We should confirm that. That is an unknown right now from me. Then your max depth here, as you progress through time, will go from, we'll roughly estimate here, 75 at the start, perhaps down to 50, 75, 50, 75, meaning that the deepest you'll possibly go is going to change over time. Similarly, your min depth, this orange line, will start as far back as possible, and they will meet at this point, essentially forcing, well, as far as I can tell, in the resultant, forcing it to always be at this time, right at this point, which we're going to estimate to be about 50 or 60%. Very interesting. So already we can kind of read what's going on here. You have to definitely think of the component parts, how they add together, the effect that you're going to get. These are just 2 of our variables, of course, max depth, min depth. Very interesting. Then down here, so this is the same chart, but I'm just isolating different parts of this graph. We now have, I apologize, by the way, I recognize that these colors are a little hard to distinguish, but I will work you through it. So the 2 lines now, the 2 variables now that we're working with are speed out and speed in, so your velocity into. Now I'm supposing, this is another unknown that we should ask Frayd about. In means towards the human body, and out means away from the human body, away from the orifice or into the orifice. And let's understand here. So as we're approaching this point where we're forcing the point to be right here at approximately the 65% mark, we're stating that we want our speed in towards the human body to be quite high. We want to accelerate in and then slowly retract out. It's very interesting. It is difficult to predict what the resultant will be, but that's not the purpose necessarily. It's a bit more creative than that. I think, right. Well, let me continue with the description of these graphs before I try to interpret everything for us. The final curves are a little difficult to see here because we are stuck staying at a constant acceleration, but the purple curve, and I'm assuming another color here as well, I'm going to guess about a pink and a purple based on what I'm seeing from a couple pixels, would be your acceleration in and out. Again, I assume it's in towards the human body and out away from the body. Now, it is difficult to predict from these graphs alone what will occur, and I believe that's kind of the point. It is not designed to be a simple penetration sine wave. It is designed to be a safely evolving function where, because each of these different variables can have their own loop, their own time step, they can add up, sum up to a pattern that might be slightly unexpected, but introduces a little bit more creativity. It definitely reminds me of attending music events, which I again Mondays in Thailand, where my friends just make noise, and amongst the noise, they find these very beautiful moments, like these patterns that they want to capture and then bring into music later. I see this similar. I mean, they use a literal synthesizer in these moments, and I see the same sort of creative design present here. It is very interesting to review these and then come back to our original pattern, the not wave here, which again, our interpretation is that this is the resultant. The solid line is the resultant away from your base. If you were to add all of these different modifiers over time, we still have a little bit of questions that we should ask Frayd altogether, but that is the purpose of the Discord community. So please do jump on over to the Kinky Makers community to learn more about Frayd's project, which is very interesting, called Advanced Penetration, as well as all the other amazing things that are happening there. Ooh, a lot of good stuff here. I just want to give you some sweet shots here of some of the wonderful UI Frayd has done for both the wired remote as well as the radar, allowing you to control this entire synthesizer system. It's very fun, very fun. Awesome. Well, thank you, Frayd, for these contributions. For the time being, yeah, definitely. You named this appropriately. It's Advanced Penetration. I'm almost tempted to change the name completely to Synthesizer, but it's your baby, your call. I just want to encourage everyone to, continue making awesome stuff. It's very exciting to see this kind of work. The depth that Frayd has gotten to in this is going to save us for the pattern drawing tool that we're creating. Absolutely. If you don't know, Frayd is also doing great work on the streaming functionality of the awesome. There's a lot of good stuff happening over there. So yeah, come on by. Kinky Makers Discord, I'll drop a link. You can also hang out here on Twitch. I will be continuing to develop the pattern drawing tool on Twitch. Over the next few weeks, I will be in Canada, where I will also jump on stream with members of the team so we can all just break an awesome together, do some other amazing things, and stay tuned as well for the Chaster integration, which I will also complete on Twitch. That's all for now. Okay, thank you so much. I will check my time. I have 5 minutes until I need to leave for Canada. So chat soon. Thanks again.